Miss Elms here again. We're going to be learning about fractions again today. We're going to be identifying and partitioning today. So this is day 2 of fractions. If you're a part of my class, grab your computer. And if you're not, please grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Let's get started. Fractions day 2, identifying and partitioning fractions. So today we're going to be using Google Slides again today, and if you are in my Google Classroom or have a Google Classroom that has assignments in fractions day 2, you're going to be using that to do your assignment today. If not, you can create your own worksheet or follow the link below. So we're going to do another would you rather today. Would you rather have one piece of the brownie or one piece of the cookie? Use that picture there to help you decide which you would rather have. Alright, so you probably noticed that there's a Google Classroom logo in the bottom right corner, and that's there to tell you that if you're in my class, that you have a Google assignment or page there that relates to this page that we're looking at right now. So I'm going to have you explain, which you'd rather choose in our Google Classroom assignment. Let's review. What is a fraction? A fraction is an equal part of a whole. So tip, fractions need to be divided into equal parts. If the parts are not equal, then it's not a fraction. So we talked about that in my last video. And so this fraction shows 1/3 or 1 out of 3 equal parts. All those parts are the same size. Let's review the parts of a fraction. Last time we talked about that there's a numerator, which is the top number of a fraction that shows the number of parts you have out of the whole, and we have the denominator, which is the bottom part of a fraction. It shows how many equal parts the whole has been divided into. Alright, so the problem we're going to read today is called Miss Painter's Sandwich. Let's read our problem. Today we're going to be doing the 3 reads protocol, so we're going to read this problem 3 different times. And while I'm reading, I want you to be thinking, what is this problem about? Miss Painter brings a Subway sandwich for school lunch. She wants to cut her sandwich into equal pieces. She eats a few pieces during lunch and saves the rest for after school. So what is this problem about? And while you're sharing with a partner at home, and if you don't have someone at home to share with, you can think to yourself, what was this problem about? Who was in it? Where were they? When was it? What were they doing? So what's the important information? So you're going to be answering, what is this problem about in our Google Classroom? Alright, our second read, we're going to read this problem again. And this time while I'm reading, I want you to think about, what are the important quantities? And if you're like, what's a quantity? Those are the numbers with our units. What are those important numbers and what do they mean? Read number 2. Miss Painter brings a Subway sandwich for school lunch. She wants to cut her sandwich into 4 equal pieces. She eats 3 pieces during lunch and saves the rest for after school. So what are the important quantities? And I want you to use those sentence stems. One important quantity in this math problem is. Another important quantity in this math problem is. Alright, for our third and final read, this is the last time we're going to read this, and while I'm reading, I want you to be thinking, what mathematical questions could we ask? Miss Painter brings a Subway sandwich for school lunch. She wants to cut her sandwich into 4 equal pieces. She eats 3 pieces during lunch and saves the rest for after school. So what math questions? Are there things you wonder about? Are there things you're confused about? What questions could we ask that relate to math? What sort of problems could we solve for this problem? So a question we could ask is, how much of Miss Painter's sandwich does she have after school? So you're going to be also answering this in our Google Classroom. Last time we talked about the word partition. It means to divide into equal parts. So tip, fractions need to be divided or partitioned into equal parts. And we've talked about that. If the parts are not equal, then it's not a fraction. We're going to do a math task today. Anu needs to partition a piece of paper into 6 equal parts. Remember, partition means to divide into equal parts. Draw 3 pictures to show how Anu could partition this paper into 6 parts so that all the parts are equal. So I know there's not 3 pieces of paper there, but if you want to take out 3 pieces of paper or draw 3 rectangles on a piece of paper, you can do that. And I want you to see if you can divide each of those rectangles into 6 equal parts. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 different ways a new could partition her paper. So the first way, you could divide it horizontally. So there's 6 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could do it perpendicular. So you could do it where there's crosses there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equal parts. And you could do it vertically where there's the lines going down the middle. So last time we talked about how mathematicians reason abstractly and quantitatively. They think about the numbers they're using, and they think about the pictures and visuals they're using. So we can write fractions in words, we can write fractions using pictures, and we can write fractions using the fraction bar, 1/5. So let's identify the fraction. So how many parts are shaded in or colored in? If you said 5, you are correct. So how many equal parts are there altogether? If you said 6, you are correct. So what is the fraction that we have shown here? 5/6. So this was tricky. I didn't ask you if it was a unit fraction. I just asked you if it was a fraction. So the fraction is 5 parts are colored in out of the 6 total parts. How many parts are shaded or colored in that are colored purple? If you said 7, you are correct. So now how many equal parts are there in all? If you said 10, you are correct. So what is our fraction? If you said 7/10, you are correct. Let's review. What is a fraction? A fraction is an equal part of a whole. Fractions need to be divided into equal parts. If the parts are not equal, then it's not a fraction. The important thing about fractions is the numerator, the top number, is the shaded part, the part that's colored in. The denominator, the number on the bottom, is the total number of equal parts. So thank you for doing this with me today. Here are some good websites to continue your math learning. If you're in my class, you can do I Already Math, Extra Math. If you want extra practice, you can do Khan Academy, ABC Yeah, and Prodigy. So now it's time for you, if you're in my class, to show me what you know about fractions in your assignment. So I hope you enjoyed day 2 of identifying and partitioning fractions. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment box below. If you're part of my class, you can email me. All right, see you later.